County Courthouse. I believe that our live stream just concluded and we're here at lunch. We're heading back. We're going to start back up in about another 45 minutes. So I just wanted to chat and share with you guys all what's going on, what the courthouse is like today, what the courtroom is like, and what's going on. So first off, remember how I said yesterday, for any of you that were watching my recap yesterday, last night, well, my lunch live too, let's be honest, and I said, I'm a little bit nervous about the jury questions. They seem to be more concerned with Lori's rights when being interviewed on July 11, 2019, the day Charles was killed. Or, I was just feeling a little skeptical about how things were going. That has changed this morning. I am feeling pretty good. I feel like the evidence that they are showing in court is so damning. I mean, there's just so much of it. I'm not even going to be able to go through everything with you this morning about all of the evidence. I kept starring evidence as I write in my notebook. I'll show you guys my messy notebook, or maybe I don't have it. No, I do. And I just star things whenever I'm like, that's a big deal. Oh, that's a big deal. Oh, that's a big deal. You can't see this evidence and not see the writing on the wall, which is that Lori conspired to kill her husband, Charles Vallow. It seems pretty clear to me. I mean, we'll see if the jury sees it, but it feels really solid to me now today. So I'm in a different place, the ups and downs of trial. So we walk in today. First off, I had a really nice chat with Kay Woodcock, and she said hello. It was so nice to see her on the chat last night with everyone, and everyone was so kind, and she says hello. And sat down, favorite seat. I get my kind of favorite seat every day. And Detective Duncan is up. He is the case agent, and he actually testified at Chad Daybell's trial. He was an interesting witness at Chad Daybell's trial, actually, because he grew up LDS. He is no longer LDS. So he was able to explain at Chad's trial a lot of the LDS terms like patriarchal blessing, the priesthood. He hasn't done much of that today. In fact, he hasn't even really said, yeah, I used to be LDS. He just says what I believe this is and what I believe that is. He's very tall. He was sick yesterday, which is why he didn't testify. He gets on the stand, and the first thing Judge Boreski says is, you're feeling better? If you throw up, just do it in that direction. And everyone sort of chuckled. And it was a lighthearted, good moment. We understood what it meant, and we have a witness who needs to be here, who has to testify at a very important trial, and yet he's been sick. And I have heard that other people have also been feeling really sick, so fingers crossed that we don't get like a courtroom illness like we did last year at the Chad Daybell trial. I also didn't mention yesterday, by the way, before we jump into all the evidence they're showing right now, yesterday Julie Brooks was on the front row as well, sitting with the victims, and I did not mention that, and I feel bad, but Julie Brooks is Aunt Vicky's daughter. And she was in trial yesterday too. She was dear friends with Charles and Lori. It's crazy because she is Tammy Daybell's cousin. That's Idaho, Springville, Utah. And then she just happened to be in the same church congregation or ward as Tylee, JJ, Charles, and Lori. It's just a really bizarre world that Julie Brooks is the only person that I have met that knows every single victim related to two of them. But she was there yesterday, and she said she might come again. So what they're showing today, remember how I keep repeating it, but I said, Trina K tells, and now she's going to show. Oh, they're showing. So I guess Detective Duncan, he showed up a little bit later on July 11th that day. I didn't realize he was actually there that day. He assessed things, and then they actually did show a really heartbreaking photo, another photo of Charles Vallow, deceased on the floor. Kay Woodcock did not look. She was looking down on the floor and in the courtroom, not looking at that photo. It was so sad. It's always so heartbreaking to see things going on. See a victim that's been deceased. And it showed that they were doing tests, and there were evidence numbers surrounding Charles, and he was on the floor of the house, and he was explaining what they were doing, and they were actually looking for blood evidence. This is really intriguing to me. I did not realize this until today, that the one reason that they were really looking for blood evidence and Detective Nathan Duncan did not talk to Alex that day, and he wasn't really part of the interviewing. He was just sort of assessing the scene. And one reason that they were really, really looking for evidence, blood evidence, was not because of Charles Vallow, but because of Charles, obviously, but also because Alex Cox allegedly had this injury on the back of his head, right, that he claimed he got from the baseball bat. So they're looking. They found no traces of blood evidence anywhere except for on Charles Vallow's hand, which they believe was him holding his heart after he was shot. They found blood on the faucet. We've seen photos of that, which probably implies that Alex was washing his hands. And that was really it. They found no bloody towels that consisted of a cleanup, which does imply that Charles was killed where he fell. And nothing else. No blood on the bat, just no traces of blood anywhere else, nothing that shows a struggle or anything of that sort. And sort of implying, where did Alex Cox's injury come from, guys? Probably not, from Charles. Then after the crime scene, and then they did not check the rental car. We can confirm that now. That's a no-go. Lori had it until like 3 p.m. that day, just driving around in Charles's rental car, like no big deal. So bizarre. And then what happened is, okay, thank you. I am feeling much better about the trial and the evidence. And then he gets into how they started that they did the extraction from Charles Vallow's cell phone. And again, this is like the one piece of evidence Lori wants. She's trying to get Lonnie Dorkin to do her own extraction. But here we now have the prosecution going through Charles's entire phone, and then not just Charles's entire phone, but Lori's iCloud and Alex's iCloud, and texts between Lori and Alex that just show plotting. They bring up that Lori and Alex discuss Z's a lot, and it was referenced as Z's. Prosecutor Trina emphasized that. Oh my goodness. Wow, Marissa, some coffee, thank you. I appreciate that so much. That it is true that Lori didn't refer to them as zombies, she referred to them as Z's. And again, Dr. John is always saying she's so literal, like somehow if she only writes Z's and not zombies in text, and you don't have receipts that she said zombies, that like she doesn't believe in zombies. I mean, it doesn't work. They talked about the evil spirit named Ned a lot, how Alex and Lori were talking about Ned all the time. Lori texted Alex and said Ned was with you at the temple, like be careful. They talked about how it led up to this McSpunky, booze, coffee, snack fund. You're the best, McSpunky, thank you. It's always good to see you guys. They're talking about how Ned was still in Charles. They were talking about the girls' weekend. And so all of these witnesses that have testified, now we're confirming all of these witnesses with texts from Alex and Lori. So they're saying the girls' weekend happened. That's what Serena talked about, and Christina, and here are the receipts from that. And Lori is saying, well, Ned is still in Alex's body. Charles is dead, but Charles's body is still alive. Not Charles is still alive, Charles's body is still alive. And they're going through all of these texts leading up to, Adam is planning something. Or Tylee unleashed on Ned. That was a heartbreaking one. And then Ned went to Summer's house and referring to Ned. Charles is not Charles anymore. Charles is Ned, an evil spirit, a Z. And then it leads all the way up to that text that Prosecutor Trina read in. You guys, thank you so much. There's so much kindness today. Thank you. That text that Prosecutor Trina read in the opening statements was what she wrote to Alex just a couple days before the shooting that killed Charles Vallow. I need you to stay close with me tonight. Mel too. Mel's supposed to go to Utah, but I need her close. They're plotting something. There's some sort of intervention. Adam's coming into town, explaining, and I'm going to be like Nephi. And, and it's all coming to a head. So months and months and months of Charles being Ned, and it's coming to a head, and I'm going to be like Nephi. And that is when Detective Duncan did explain some of that LDS theology. Nephi is someone who killed a man in the name of righteousness, that God commanded it. It's a pretty damning Book of Mormon, LDS story, scripture of an ancient prophet when it comes to this case, and that actually was also in the probable cause for the arrest of Lori. The probable cause had that scripture in it about Nephi and Laban. So we learned something. So after all the text between Alex and Lori, and then on the day of, they got into this too. And again, I don't get to everything on my lunch live. You guys know that. This is a FaceTime with friends. Tonight, for my recap, we will go over all of the texts that were read, all of the evidence, and you guys will see yourself just what they brought to the table today. And you guys can see if you think it's just as damning as I do, because, I mean, you know, there's a lot. 2 iClouds of Lori, Lolly Time and Lori for Style. Pictures of life insurance that she's texting to Chad Daybell. Let's get to Chad Daybell. And then on the day of the scene, they emphasize Duncan absolutely, Alex did not call 911 for over 40 minutes. But who did he call? Lori leaves the house, and 3 minutes later, after Lori leaves the house, after shooting, after the Charles was shot, Alex calls Lori and they talk, and then they talk again. Nobody's calling 911. Confirmed, they do not call 911 for 45 minutes. So let's get into Chad Daybell. We have called Chad Daybell Peter Griffith. We have called him Slug. We have called him Potato. I know that he has had a lot of nicknames. We have referred to the nickname Storm. But here you go, guys. Here's a new one. She likes to text someone named Bubby. Well, guess who Bubby is? Let's speculate. You don't have to speculate long. We have learned that Lori likes to call Chad Daybell Bubby. Lucky guy. So Bubby jumps in to play here. We now know about Bubby. And Lori is texting Bubby and sending him all this life insurance information and sending him info on Ned and the evil spirit and all this stuff happening. I will get to jury reactions. Admittedly, they just kind of look confused, but they are paying attention. And it shows actually kind of how involved Bubby is. You know, Bubby hasn't been charged in this crime, and I don't know why. I still wonder if it could happen one day. And then it gets into the Lolly time, which Lolly, by the way, is Lori's deceased sister. Lori has 2 deceased sisters, Stacy and Lauralee. Lauralee died as an infant before Lori was born. And we learned in the Idaho trial that Lolly is in reference to Lori's infant sister who died of an unknown health issue. And Lori is actually named after Lauralee. So Lolly time is created, and a message, an email is sent to Bubby in Idaho. I mean, his name is Chad. She's not referring to him as Bubby in this email. From a Karen Walker. And Karen Walker is encouraging Chad Daybell to come to Houston to write a book on Charles. Charles is writing Chad saying this is, oh, excuse me. Sorry, there's 2 separate things. First, there's Karen Walker. Okay, sorry, I'm getting 2 emails mixed up. There's Karen Walker. Sorry, guys. There's multiple fake emails created. So, first, there's Karen Walker. Karen Walker writes Charles and says, will you come speak to the youth in Houston? Where are Lori and Charles living then? In Houston. This is 2019, before Lori moves to Arizona. And so Karen is writing Chad Daybell and saying, come speak. And it's implying that it's an opportunity for Lori and Chad to carry on their affair and for Chad to come to Houston to speak to the youth, okay, for Karen Walker. So forgive me for that was a little confusing. Then there's another email written allegedly by Charles, but it's not from Charles, to Chad, saying, this is once in Arizona, will you come? There's a Preparing a People event. Why don't you come? During that Preparing a People event, meet me. I want you to write a book about my life, from Charles Vallow. But Charles didn't write this email. Lori wrote this email, is what they're trying to say in there. And Lori wrote it for, again, another reason to carry on this affair with Bubby. Lucky Bubby. And so they're kind of showing just so many reasons for motive. And then they're showing that not only is there this reason for motive, but that then Bubby and Lori are also taking pictures of life insurance and talking about Charles or Ned's life insurance. I mean, how many motives can you need? And then this is interesting. I did not put this together, but Charles found the emails. For those that have been following this case for a long time, we know this. Charles discovered the email that Lori allegedly wrote. Oh my goodness, you guys are being so kind. Thank you, Magdalena. Charles found the email that Lori allegedly wrote that pretending to be Charles, that was sent to Bubby, Chad, saying that Charles wanted Chad to write a book and to come out for it. When Charles realized that, found that email, and realized that Lori was pretending to be her, pretending to be him in emails, he reached out. He realized at that moment, my wife is having an affair with Chad Bubby Daybell. And so he called Chad and let him know. And then what did he do? He tried to reach out to Tammy Daybell. I don't think Tammy ever got the email. I think that Chad intercepted and Lori intercepted. I think Chad intercepted his wife's work email and blocked Charles's number. But Charles attempted to reach out to Tammy Daybell. And then Charles told Lori, I know what's going on. And in fact, I think these are the threatening, quote unquote, threatening emails that Lori claimed she was getting from Charles, was when Charles found out she was having an affair and said, look, I'm going to out you. That was the threat. I'm going to out you to Tammy. I'm going to call Chad, and you're not going to get away with this. And I'm going to tell people what you're doing, that you're cheating on me. And it was after that moment that, so after that, Lori did not see Charles again until Charles came to Arizona to pick JJ up for school. So it was like immediately after. I didn't realize that until today. That after that happened and they had this intense, moment, and that Charles discovered both emails. After he discovered both emails, the Karen Walker and the come to Arizona, Bubby, to write my book, and confronted Lori. The next time he saw her really was when he came to Arizona. So it's also showing the jury that this relationship was on its way out. Like there were a lot of problems. This wasn't this lovey-dovey happy relationship that Lori is talking about, where Charles is the problem and she just tried to solve things. I know I'm all over the place. I hope you guys are following me. I guess just bottom line is there's a lot of evidence in there. And this is pre-lunch, guys. This is pre-lunch. We've got a lot of time left. And I suspect that Detective Duncan is going to be on the stand for a lot of the day. I mean, we're just on Prosecutor Trina. They're saying, let's break for lunch and come back because we're going to keep going. I do not think the state is going to rest. Now I'm looking at a few questions. No, I actually think now that the state is going to rest. They suggested Thursday. I would not be surprised if the state now rests on Monday because of the sick day that Detective Duncan had yesterday. He's such an important witness. And the two other witnesses coming, Hunsaker as well as Nathan Moffat, are also two very important witnesses. And I think they're just going to lay it all out. Like there's no way people are going to be able to look the other way on this evidence. I think this is the evidence we've all been waiting for. They are bringing it and they're saving it. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Thank you. Roses are red. They're bringing it, and I don't think any of us have to be concerned anymore. And maybe none of you were concerned. I'm just talking to myself. Maybe I don't need to be concerned anymore because they're going to lay it out. Okay, as far as the jury goes, they are just listening. They're listening intently. Not too much note-taking from them. They are not like the biggest note-taking bunch, but they are paying attention. Nobody's asleep. Nobody's nodding off. Nobody's, you know, doing too big of face expressions, but they are listening intently. Lori is there. She has her little, you know, the cowardly lion hairstyle or the Shih Tzu hairstyle going today. She's wearing purple. You guys see her if you're on the stream. And she's, you know, her MO is just to take rapid notes as witnesses talk, and she's certainly doing that. At her table across will be very, very interesting, I'm sure. So definitely tune in. Well, that's the latest. I am so sweet. Someone just brought me Jimmy John's. Very grateful for that. So I'm going to jump off here and eat before I go back in because I think we have a very, very big day ahead of us. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Brenda. I'm gonna just scroll and see if there's any questions here. Take a moment. Oh, thank you for saying my ring is pretty, by the way. Thank you. I received this as a gift from T. Thank you so much. Or Ty. I love it. It's such a pretty ring. So many incredible hidden gems. I think I put the link to these sunglasses in a couple days ago. I love them. Thank you guys for all the kindness you've shown. I can tell we're nearing the end, or like sort of like the mid part of trial, because when trials start, I like dress up a lot, and then as it goes, I just start wearing, you know, and as I get tired, I start wearing sweatshirts and leggings. So, so I'm so glad you guys like my recaps. I know over 7,000 here. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. What do I get when we cross a bulldog and a Shih Tzu? I won't say it. Lori Vallow? No, just kidding. We can just, I mean, essentially the defendant. I think that's the new answer to that joke. Okay. Thanks, you guys. And thank you to those that are gifting memberships. We all understand here at Hidden True Crime, Justice for Charles, exactly, that you know, not everyone has the ability to buy a membership, and we want everyone to have the ability to have these emojis, these trial emojis, while we're here together during this rooting for justice for Charles. So thank you to those who gift memberships, and for those of you that want a membership but may not be able to afford it, just make sure your membership gifting is on, because there's so many generous people, and I'll give a few later today too. So I don't know how many officers are LDS. I can tell you that Detective Duncan on the stand is not. Thank you, Glenna Marie. Thank you. All right, guys, like I said, for those that are like, dang, your lunch lives are disorganized, welcome to How It Goes. The recap, we're going to have it all. We'll lay it out, and then you guys tell me how damning you think this evidence is. Okay, we'll see you guys. Bye-bye.